Hi everyone, and welcome to another session of Busking from Home, or as it's more and more becoming a musical seminar. Special hello to Fiona. I loved your tweet, and the dog Sebastian. I just wonder what Bella would make of him. This week, the focus of my music is 19th century verse. You may recall that last week I introduced you all to some medieval verse that I had set to music, and I hope you enjoyed that. This week I'm doing the same thing, but with 19th century verse. I'll start with a poem, When We Two Parted, by Lord Byron. His dates 1788 to 1824. Byron is one of the most celebrated English poets of the 19th century, and certainly the most influential. A central figure in the Romantic movement, he came to influence a number of European writers like Pushkin and Stendhal. It was, however, his personality as much as his poetry which made Byron the most famous man of his day. Born with a club foot which caused him to limp, Byron was a person of great beauty and charisma, much loved by both men and women. In 1798, he became a lord on the death of his uncle. He was also promiscuous, bisexual, and suspected of incest with a half-sister. Mad, bad, and dangerous to know, Byron's private life soon became so scandalous that he was forced to leave England. He left for Europe in 1816, never to return. His death in Greece in 1824, while fighting for Greek independence from the Turks, seems an appropriately romantic end for this remarkable poet. His poem, When We Two Parted, which I have set to music, shows Byron in an unusually restrained mood. When we two parted, in sorrow and tears, half broken hearted, to sever for years. Pale gray your cheek, cold your kiss. That hour foretold my sorrow in this. The dew of the morning sunk chill on my brow. It felt like the warning of what I feel now. Your vows are all broken, light is your fame. I hear your name spoken, I share in its shame. They name you before me, a knell to my ear. And sorrow comes o'er me. Why were you so dear? They know not I knew thee, who knew thee too well. How long shall I rue thee, too deeply to tell? In secret we met, in silence I grieve that you could forsake me and your spirit deceive. And if I should meet thee after long years, oh, how should I greet thee with sorrow and tears? Oh, how should I greet thee with sorrow and tears? There you go, Lord Byron. A contemporary of Lord Byron and a close friend of his was Percy Bysshe Shelley. His date's 1792 to 1822. And my next song is based on one of his poems. Shelley was also a major romantic poet, and like Byron, tainted with a streak of madness. Like Byron too, his social behavior caused such scandal in England that he was forced to leave the country for Italy in 1818, where he died in a boating accident in the Bay of Naples in 1822. The poem that I've set to music was written by Shelley while living in Italy. It's called The Mask of Anarchy. It should bring back memories for you, Fiona, of O-level British history, for its setting is in the years of distress, 1815 to 1822, at a time when the Tory government of Lord Liverpool was actively repressing the British people. This led to the Peterloo Massacre of 1819, in which several people, among them women and children, were killed by the local militia for taking part in a peaceful demonstration calling for reform. Shelley was outraged when he read of this event and composed a savage attack upon the British government in the form of a poem called The Mask of Anarchy. The focus of his attack is upon Lord Castlereagh, the government's chief supporter of repression, and the Lord Chancellor, whose name was Eldon. They are personified as murder and fraud. The poem runs to over 90 verses, but I've chosen 4 for the purpose of this song and have given it the title, I Met Murder on the Way. I met murder on the way. He had a mask like Castlereagh, very smooth, he looked yet grim. 7 bloodhounds followed him. All were fat and well they might be in admirable plight. For 1 by 1 and 2 by 2, he tossed them human hearts to chew, which from his white cloak he drew. Next came fraud, and he had on, like Eldon, an ermine gown, and his tears, for he wept well, and the little children who around his feet played to and fro, thinking every tear a gem, had their brains dashed out by them. Oh, I met murder on the way. He had a mask like Castlereagh, very smooth, he looked yet grim. 7 blood bloodhounds followed him. All were fat and well they might be in admirable plight. For one by one and two by two, he tossed them human hearts to chew, which from his white cloak he drew. Last came anarchy, he rode on a white horse splashed with blood. He was immune into the lips like death in the apocalypse, and he wore a kingly crown. In his grasp a scepter shone, and on his brow this mark I saw: I am God, King and Lord. My men murder on the way. He had a mask like Castlereagh, very smooth, he looked yet grim. 7 bloodhounds followed him. All were fat and well they might be in admirable plight. For one by one and two by two, he tossed them human hearts to chew, which from his white cloak he drew. Men of England, heirs of glory, heroes of unwritten story, children of one mighty mother, hopes of her and one another. Shake your chains to earth like dew. You are many, they are few. Shake your chains to earth like dew. You are many, they are few. My men murder on the way. My men murder on the way. My men murder on the way. So there you go, Fiona. Hope that brought back memories. 1974 in Leicester. Years of distress and widespread violence. Or as one pupil said, widespread violins. After two of the stars of 19th century verse, a poem now by Anon. Unfortunately, I have been unable to identify its source, but it does make for a beautiful song. It's called Once in a Dream. Once in a dream, for once I dreamed of you. We stood together in an open field. Above our heads, 2 swift-winged pigeons wheeled, cawing at their ease in full view. When from the sky a dark cloud fell, a mighty hawk on the wing, too proud to fly and too weak to fight, they yield. So farewell life, and farewell love, and fare thee well, oh pleasures new. And as their plumes fell fluttering to the ground, I wept and thought I turned to you. But you were gone, and I stood alone, hearing voices on the wind. Farewell life, and farewell love, and fare thee well, oh pleasures new. Once in a dream, for once I dreamed of you, we stood together in an open field. Okay, Anon. Back to a name poet now. The next song, The Light of Other Days, is from a poem by Thomas Moore. His date's 1779 to 1852. Thomas Moore was born in 1779 in Dublin and died in 1852. Although he trained as a lawyer in England, his main interest always lay in literary activities. He was a close friend of Lord Byron and published numerous biographies of British literary figures. His chief claim to fame, however, lay in his ability to write words to traditional Irish tunes, and he provided the lyrics of several world-famous songs, among them The Last Rose of Summer and The Minstrel Boy. So here I am, reversing the process by turning one of his poems into song, The Light of Other Days. In the night before sleep has found me, sad memory brings the light of other days. When I recall all the friends I've seen fall like leaves in wintry weather, then I feel like one who walks all alone, some banquet hall deserted. The flowers are dead, the lights are all gone, and all but me departed. In the night before sleep has found me, sad memory brings the light of other days. Sad memory brings the light of other days. My next song, Remember, is based on the poem by Christina Rossetti. Her date's 1830 to 1894. Christina Rossetti was a member of a cultured Anglo-Italian family and a sister to the painter-poet Dante Gabriel. And it was through him that she gained access to the pre-Raphaelite Brotherhood. She began writing verse as a teenager and developed into one of the finest of the poets of the Victorian age. Her work is widely anthologized, and her poem Remember is particularly well known. Remember me when I am gone away, far away into that silent land, where I no more can take you by the hand, nor I have turned to go, yet turn and stay. Only remember me. It will be too late to talk or pray. But if the dark should leave a trace behind, it's better by far you should forget and smile than that you should remember and be sad. Than that you should remember and be sad. Than that you should remember and be sad. My final song today is from the poetry of Anna Laetitia Barbauld. Her date's 1743 to 1825. A minor poet, she published a collection of poems in 1772, and one of the most popular poems in this collection is Life, I Know Not What Thou Art, and it finds a place in many anthologies. I've freely adapted it for the purpose of my song and have changed the word life to love. The song means a lot to me. Love, I know not what you are, but I know we have to part. And when or where or how we met, I own to me the secret yet. Love, I know not what you are, but I know we have to part. Though I travel near or far, you are always in my heart. Oh, we've been so long together through the bright and cloudy weather. It's so hard for friends to part. It may cost a sigh and a tear. Love, I know not what you are, but I know we have to part. Though I travel near or far, you are always in my heart. Then just steal away, my love, and don't give me any warning. Don't say goodnight, but on some brighter day, say good morning. Love, I know not what you are, but I know we have to part. Though I travel near or far, you are always in my heart. Love, I know not what you are. Okay, well, I hope you enjoyed that session of Victorian verse into song. As I say, I'm not terribly creative, but I have some ability to translate verse into song, and I hope you enjoyed it. Next session with you will be on July 22. That's because of all the World Cup stuff and Wimbledon tennis that's going on and clashing with my Sunday session. So rather than compete with all that world sport, I thought I'd postpone the next couple of sessions and see you on July 22. See you then. Take care, Fiona. Look after Sebastian. Love, I know not what you are, but I know we have to part. When or where or how we met, I own to me's a secret yet. Love, I know not what you are, but I know we have to part. Though I travel near or far, you are always in my heart. Oh, we've been so long together through the bright and cloudy weather. It's so hard for friends to part. It may cost a sigh and a tear. Love, I know not what you are, but I know we have to part. Though I travel near or far, you are always in my heart. Then just steal away my love and don't give me any warning. Don't say goodnight, but on some brighter day, say good morning. Love, I know not what you are, but I know we have to part. Though I travel near or far, you are always in my heart. Though I travel near or far, you are always in my heart. Bye for now. See you on 2 weeks' time, July 22. Okay. Just have a listen and see what